say? That way you feel for say?
Hey guys, welcome back to KeneishaSays. Welcome back to another video. I am still in Jamaica, and today my family and I are going to go to the museum. We're actually here, the National Museum West. This is located at Sam Sharpe Square. So we're gonna go in.
Hold on, pigeon.
Hold on.
You see these also, right?
Color. That's the color, yeah.
Alright, let's see what this is right, that's all.
Sit.
It's on the building right here, no? Oh, okay.
Sit.
And right now, this one right here.
Yeah.
Was an old courthouse?
Yeah, because this wasn't here before.
Old courthouse.
Does somebody get us or?
Same color, the guy up here.
Okay.
If you did something that people thought were disgraceful, they think you was a witch or something, put your
hang
hang in front of everybody in the town. In front of everybody.
And this was Maroon, aka is called Sam Sharpe Square. Sam Sharpe is one of our national heroes.
Wait, hold on.
Like that.
I
You
mean,
ever been?
Rastafari is have to do with Jewish people?
No.
That's a Star David. And that has to do with
Rastafari.
so that's what I'm asking. I was wondering if like there's probably some history behind it. Branding is just slave branding.
The slaves. Get your man a lick the red people and then back. You see that? And it's a black man too, you know?
No, because they thought they were better because they were given a higher status by the white people. So they think they were better than the rest of them.
Alright, so this is Sam Sharpe. This is Sam Sharpe, and he actually have
Looking at it.
the statue. Yeah, so this is Sam Sharpe. This is what the parade is named after. Six national hero and one heroine. Any of the Maroon is a heroine. They have Paul Bogle, Bustamante, Sam Sharpe, Manley, Marcus Garvey, Sam Sharpe, and Nani. So that's seven. That's seven.
You know, these people are better than me. Peaceful protesting would never be my fault.
Oh, he was very peaceful. He was a Christian.
No, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, all of the big people that actually did a lot for, like, America and Jamaica, for example, Martin Luther King and Sam Sharpe, all went to peaceful approach, and I can't do that.
That was no man to worry.
Yeah.
The only one that was a little bit violent was Tugman.
Harriet Tubman? No, it wasn't violent.
Because she fought to get rid of the railroad. If you actually watch a movie on her, she actually fights. She fights.
Well, that's
Keep on going back and forth and she fights.
No, she couldn't fight. Let me tell you why. I learned about it. She couldn't fight because what she was doing, she was sneaking them out.
She was sneaking them out, but what happened is that when she escaped, she went and she built herself. And then she started going back for her family.
Yeah.
And as she started going back for her family, she started grabbing one or two other people, and then it became a movement.
Yeah, so that's
and so everybody started to learn how to not necessarily let them go there to fight, but they went there to defend themselves. So they were, if anything, at any attack, they were able to defend themselves, to run.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I thought you meant as in fight, as in
no, but that's what I'm saying. Also, everybody else did the silent movement or whatever. She's the only one that actually got physical. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
She brave though.
Brave bad.
Very pretty. Like,
me escaped and I come back.
I know the details to it. When they were, because you know, Harriet Tubman escaped. She had dogs and stuff coming after her. You know what she did? She went into the water to wash her scent up.
Yes.
Yes. All types of stuff, and then soaking wet, running in the cold with all. Yo, she
was
got it.
She ran for days.
For days.
Like when she went, she reached up Pennsylvania, and she went.
She ended up staying with somebody for a few days, but then she
the pastor man. She run, man.
I don't know, but they got better.
And when they told her not to go back is when they were scared and changed her name and everything and told her not to go back. She said she had to go get her family out. And she went back. They never want to help her. And I said, dangerous to go back in there. And she went back herself.
You know what's the crazy thing? She sacrificed herself to go back, and some people didn't even want to leave.
Didn't want, yes. Like her sister said, leave me alone.
Hey, brothers, some people, yeah, all the time.
What?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
No, let me tell you, it's something called breaking the slave. It's when you break them to the point that they feel like they have
nothing else.
They can't escape. They feel like this is their life. That's it.
You know what hurt? She went for her husband.
And he was also
And
broken.
he was already married.
What?
Yes.
I don't think I heard about that.
Yeah. That's what I watched the movie. He was the first one she went for. And she was already married. She mashed up.
Because
she
I think because the husband thinks that
she wasn't compromised.
Yeah.
She been taking it dead. And nobody heard from her. She actually changed her name and everything to survive.
And
So
how
when
long
she
did
came
you
back,
have time?
I think it was like maybe a year or two. It was a long time.
she went like
She went back because she had said she not do it without her husband. She went back. Man already married and everything. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So they come on. Oh my God, reach oh, thank you very much. Ooh. But this is a granite. Do we have a tour guide or no? Oh, you're the tour guide?
Yeah.
Sorry. So we come this way, baby.
Good afternoon, my name is Mr. Milan, the curatorial assistant here at National Museum West. Welcome. So this is Montego Bay to the world. We look at different ethnic groups. I came here at different times, what to that happened. Invitation was right? So the first inhabitants of Jamaica, they are known as the Tainos, who came here as early as 700 AD from South America on small boats known as canoes. When they came here and settled up in the iguanas, they brought the cassava and the peanuts to Jamaica. The pineapples are indigenous to Jamaica, so the Tainos are the first people who have tasted the pineapples. Then, these are examples of the houses known as bohios, so it's made from bamboo here, and the roof is made from what we call thatched forest straws. The Tainos would have done activities such as hunting, farming, and fishing. However, when Christopher Columbus came in 1494, the Tainos were later enslaved. As a result, many of them died due to diseases the Spaniards would have brought here. Some of them committed suicide, and those who could have escaped would have done so to their mountains.
Yeah.
From my father's side.
No, she's telling me that she's Taino, which is this tribe.
Yeah, she's Spanish.
That's crazy.
So that in is it Colombia and all of that whole time?
Puerto Rico.
Oh, you're right. That's one of them too. Alright, so the Spaniards came to Jamaica 1494, as I said earlier. We didn't have animals on the island until they brought them here. So these animals, inclusive of the sugar cane, were brought in from Spain. It was also the Spaniards who introduced money to the island. So the first currency are known as the reals, which are made from cup silver. Some of them are in that was made there just before it. Right. So what the Tainos had was known as a barter system, where they would exchange goods between themselves and other people. And of course, that was a part of a peace agreement that the Spaniards and the Tainos would have had there. Alright, these are examples of the ship models of the Spanish ships, like the Santa Maria and the Minia. Now, this area was known as a boiling house, which would have used to produce the sugar from the sugar cane before mechanical factories were built then. Now, what would have happened is that they extract the juice from the sugar cane, place in these kettles, the fire will be underneath here, so that when it's boiled, the water would have removed through the evaporating process and the sugar crystals would have formed then. It was transferred from one kettle to the other using the replication of the sugar ladle here. Now, when factories were built in the 1820s, they started producing rum and molasses from the sugar. So the Africans came to Jamaica by extension the Caribbean by what we know as a transatlantic slave trade. Now, of course, as I said earlier, the plantation system was started by the Spaniards because Christopher did not find what he came looking for, which gold, silver, diamonds, and other stones, right? So he resort to something else. Now, Africans were brought in as replacement for the Tainos, of course, right? From East and West Africa, places such as Ghana, Nigeria, Igbo on the list. Now, Jamaica's population today is mainly of West African descent because that's where majority of the Africans would have been taken from. Alright, so the Maroons as well were among the first group of Africans that were brought here during the transatlantic slave trade. And we talk some more about the Maroons as we move. Alright, so Jamaica was colonized twice. The first colony was done by the Spaniards, which we spoke about first. The second colonization was by the English who came to Jamaica in 1655. Yes, the Spaniards were the original rulers. Now, these are two nations from the continent of Europe who, when they met each other, did not shake hands to say, morning, how are you doing, let's get along. But of course, instead they had a war, right? Right. Right, so the war happened between the two, resulting the English won the war, took over the plantation, took over the island, and continued the slave trade. So the massive majority of enslaved Africans that were brought here was during the time of the British rule, as they would have ruled the island for a longer time. Right? In that, the Africans, they were subjected to dehumanization and different means of torture. So here are some of the devices that were used. This one here is known as a leg shackle, which weighs about 20 pounds. Now, this was placed on the ankle of each enslaved person, which would have prevented them from running away or rising in rebellion. And the spike in the shackle here, so this spike went on the wrist, they drove the spike in the earth, and they were kept in the sun for an extended period of time. Then the one that you asked about, this one here, is known as a tongue restraint. That was placed around the neck and the side of the mouth in suppressing the tongue. And that would have prevented them from eating and speaking. Or the gibbet, which was used solely for execution purposes. Now, alright, so how it works is that they would have forced them inside of it, and this is what is used to turn it, so their bodies would have been squeezed. Yes, it would have hanged up for public display, and that would have served as a deterrent to the other enslaved persons on the plantation. Now, during enslavement period, our African ancestors, they were denied education. So if it is that they were found with any literature, yes, they'll be punished this way because the slave masters were afraid of them being knowledgeable, as that would equal to rebellion. That's what they were afraid of. Now, the other reason is that the English, rather, they were outnumbered by a ratio of about 10 to 1. So they knew that if all the Africans decided, all right, we're going to walk to slave master's house this morning, and we're going to tell them a nice how they do, of course they're going to be in trouble. So enslavement would have taken two forms, which were the physical enslavement and the mental slavery. Right? So in relation to the mental slavery, they would have employed what we call the divide and conquer mechanism or strategy. For example, here, this is the treadmill. Now, this is another slave, right? So this
another slave in a position.
Right. So the slave masters would use a slave to be.
Even like he might enjoy it too much.
Well, so he would consider himself more privileged than the others, right? So just like how some of us are. Right. So that's really where the mental slavery comes in, right? So, and of course, this continued up to.
No. Yes.
You want me to tell you something?
No, really.
Just me and Trey.
Still talking nice to one of them. While it's a black man and a BTL black man, that's crazy.
This war that happens in 1831, known as the Christmas Rebellion, Emancipation War, or Baptist War, that was led by Sam Sharpe, who's one of our national heroes. Now, he was fortunate enough to become educated and had used that to his advantage by traveling around to the different plantations that were existing here in this parish. And he became a deacon as well, so traveling around using the Bible and teaching and preaching. So he wanted wage and freedom, not just for himself but for everybody else, and decided, alright, he's going to have a negotiation with slave master. In addition to that, it is said that he read in the newspapers that slavery was abolished, and of course that would have been 1807 whilst they were campaigning against slavery in England. So that started to spread around on the plantation.
Slavery is still out with
right. So they decided, alright, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have to fight our way through if it is that slave masters don't agree to our terms and conditions. So approximately 60,000 enslaved workers who took part in this war, and it lasted for 10 days. At the end of the war, you had 600 people that were tried in this building that was a courthouse at the time. And out of that 600, you had 300 of them who were executed, including Sam Sharpe, who was hanged in 1832. Now, the freedom they demanded in 1831, they didn't get it, but on the 1st of August 1838, the Emancipation Act was read from this building, and this is why August 1st is celebrated as Emancipation Day.
Big money sells, man.
The Maroons of Jamaica, so I mentioned the Maroons partially earlier. Now, the Maroons, they were known as the thorns in the side of the British. Why? Because they were switching sides, right? So the Maroons were slaves originally to the Spaniards, or to the Spanish. So when the English came in 1655, what the Maroons had done was that they joined the Spanish and fought against the English. Then they joined English to get rid of Spanish, and then they started to fight for themselves, right? So between the Maroons and the English, there was a 10-year war, and the reason for that was solely because the English wanted to re-enslave the Maroons, but the Maroons have said, no, absolutely not happening. We don't know what time in enslavement, and today we must be free. So the Maroons had two advantages. One, so yeah, they were training guerrilla warfare and all that, but they had two advantages. Main advantages. One, they were living in the mountains. Two, they were using the abbey here, which is made from the cow horn, as the communication instrument. So of course, British would have been hard of hearing, could not understand what happened. Yeah, so that's how they were able to devour the British soldiers. And in that, they were able to sue the British government for peace. So you may hear about the peace treaty. Yes, the Maroons had sued the British for peace. Yes, and that peace agreement lasted for several amount of years. And one of the things that were done or agreed to from that peace agreement was the awarding of lands to the Maroons, which they own to this day. So if you know about the Apontong here, so right around the Pacific country here around the sun, yes man, that's specifically for the Maroons. So this is why the government and the Maroons have a war from time to time over those pieces of land.
So we still have Maroons officially living?
Yes, that is the sentence, yes.
So, tell me a little bit about Nanny for over here. So.
Alright, so Nanny would have been one of the leaders of the Maroons. Alright, so she was trained in, she would have trained them in guerrilla warfare and in defending her people, as she would have called them, and then Kojo would have come on the scene as well. So he was one of the chief persons, and I think he was the one who had signed the peace agreement with the Maroons, as with the British as well, and of course, yeah. So the 6th of January every year rather, is celebrated as Kojo Day.
I didn't know that. I didn't know there was a Kojo Day.
Yes, so the 6th of January. So that's when the peace agreement. That's when the peace agreement was signed. Yeah, they have different celebrations. Yeah, they're different celebrations.
Okay, cool.
And Calabash. That's it.
Which one of them?
One of them are Calabash.
Oh, wait, this one. Calabash, I think that one for that.
What the hell is
original. This is an original iron. People have a plug in here.
Goes on. Zero.
You know what this is?
Yeah, so that's the train.
It's a train.
Alright, so normally when we get to this part, I normally ask persons to identify as many as they possibly can.
Alright, so
Here.
another lantern.
That's a water pump, right?
No, that's not the water pump.
That is what they use to wash in.
You sure?
No, hold on.
What it is?
That's
No, it's not
make
wash.
coffee then.
Coffee, yes.
Yeah, so the mortar and
Putting and
right.
yeah. I'm thinking this is for the sugar.
Well, this is gonna be regular pot.
Regular pot.
Regular pot.
So it's
What is that?
pot, kimbo pot.
What that from?
That's a feed donkey. And if you put over the donkey. Yeah.
Yes.
Iron.
Okay.
This look like a sewing machine.
It is.
It's a
Okay.
sewing machine. That's our original scale we use to
Yeah.
make stuff. You know?
So this is like regular
That's a
teacup
model. That's a
and
model.
stuff.
Well, these are measuring. So
Measuring cup.
yeah.
Okay.
Tin measures.
We know about these.
Yeah.
But they never use the one we know have a color there. It almost look like this.
Well, because that one, the color like that would have been the
New one. Yeah.
With the- So
grandfather used to make
they
it.
look like a shaving something like wood shaving something.
Yes, plain.
Come here.
Plain.
Right.
So my grandfather.
This one is iron.
Yeah, that's another iron. So that's the
That one have
same
water
heat.
there. That have water.
And steam. Steam iron. Okay.
Four.
TJ, we used to use this.
We used to use this
To iron
one.
our clothes. This one.
Put it on the fire.
Put it on the fire, or the coal pot, or the top of the fire,
Yeah, man.
the
So
stove itself.
normally when you get to, for example, on a Saturday when it's time for ironing,
Yeah.
you have maybe 3 or 4 cold pots with
Oh,
these irons.
or
each
for the
time.
rich people, them have a stove top,
Yeah.
put it
Right.
on it.
So
And we use it when light gone.
right,
Like it was.
when you finish, when this one get cool, you take
Our
off, you
next
put
one.
it right, and the
Yeah.
cycle continues until
Just make sure it's something to wipe off the bottom.
until so that would have been the
steam.
Yeah, the plug, the
That's
plug-in
crazy.
iron,
The
the
steam
spin
iron.
that one. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And so you were asking what that one is. So the one beside the lantern, the boogie jack, I'd say was used to connect the horse to the chariot, as that was in mode of transportation.
Oh, it looks like the one we have to pump.
Yeah, it looks like that, but you can't how it, because
So
of
it's
how
a whole-
it says, how it turned the axle.
To hold the carts and the horses together.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that was a mode of transportation.
Okay, I understand.
So when you look at the cowboy
And then they release and then they separate.
right. So yeah.
It looks like a train track. That's cool. TJ, you realize? It looks like a train track.
And then you turn, yeah. Those are it.
So this is a model of the banana boat that was used for the exploitation of bananas as well as the introduction of tourism. So even though slavery would have ended in 1838, as we said earlier, the island was still being ruled by the British until independence in 1962. So Africans went on the banana boat to England, they never returned. So you hear go back on the banana boat.
Yeah, go up where?
And that's where
Always here.
Always
Always here.
That's where that comes from. Listen to that. The song that was done by Arbella Montego.
Deo, Mr. Deo.
So that came from the banana boat. So the song speaks to the counting of the bananas. For example, the Taliban, they count 7
Taliban,
and said the counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 25, right? So they were working throughout the 90 days about to break, begin to hurry up and get out of here. So that's really the daylight come. So this is a part of the Doctor's Cave that was owned by Dr. Alexander McCarthy and the cave section. Now that's how the name Doctor's Cave came about, which had mineral healing properties, was a swimming club for men only at the time. So whatever aches and pains they would have had, they took about the Doctor's Cave, so the cave would disappear. So many visitors came to the island to visit Doctor's Cave, but this section was destroyed by a hurricane in the 1930s. market truck as well, where they would have traveled down to Kingston, where that's the only place they could have gone to sell their yam bananas and everything else. So they went up on Thursday, stayed up in the markets until Sunday, and of course that continued for many years until markets were being established across the island. So maybe your grandmother, great-grandmother will tell you something about that.
So what we could have this?
Yeah,
this is crazy.
It's not crazy. Why you think it's crazy? So before the smart people, I didn't want to put myself forward, but anyway, before technology became
this is what they used to do.
This is what we used to
This is our toy.
Yes.
What?
So the box juice, as I was saying earlier, before they finish, we would have put them together, right? So we use razor blade, sharpener blades. I don't know if you used to get beaten for sharpener blades, but we break up the sharpeners to design the head, right? We use the water bottle covers. We use a little nail
for the wheel.
Yes, water bottle covers. We bore the nail, bore it, and put the use stick. I would have used the bone part of the coconut leaf.
Now you use that strip off.
Yes, man. Right, and that was
There's no PS5. That was it. That's it.
I make a ton of those in my.
That was those things.
And then the string on it to pull.
To pull it, right. So when you go into the shop,
yes, it comes with it.
And if you take a while, take too long to come back, and then it's fine.
No, you don't get beaten, yes. Let me spit on the jar before you
Yeah, so this is one of the original. Alright, so Jerry and his nephew, 3 people in the one bottle. This is why you all get drunk pregnant. Alright?
Shred them in that one bottle.
Yes.
These are so expensive that if you really want one.
Sure, we go to the car.
Yeah, so expensive now.
Yeah, expensive.
When we used to walk around without shoes. No man, I don't want to go for a rising star, man. Hey, when you go for a rising star, you walk around with the what a man name again? No matter about you go for a rising star, man. Long time ago.
I don't recall that one.
No. I saw man looking in the flag, I think.
It's Rastafari is a part of Jamaica's culture. Was started here in 1933. Their goals and aims rejecting colonialism, classism, racism, and any act of government that is put into a law that would violate your constitutional rights. They will reject those notions. Now, I will say that even some of the Rastas who say they are Rastas don't know the basis or some of the things that where they write from. But it's a religion because they adapt different scripture references from the Bible, hence these examples. However, it's not that they believe in the Bible in its entirety. So again, contentious arguments, right? And you'll hear me say that a lot. The Rastas, they always speak about going home to Africa, of course. And we know this stems from the transatlantic slave trade that we spoke about whilst we were on that side. So Ethiopia is the most significant. There are 2 reasons. One, Ethiopia is the only African nation that was not colonized. And the second reason is because of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie, who he mentioned earlier, who was an Ethiopian emperor. The Rastas believe that he's the Messiah based on what they were told. Now, Mr. Leonard Howell, Mr. Robert Waters, Mr. Nathaniel Hibbert, they were the first Rastas. So as you mentioned that Haile Selassie wasn't a Rasta. Now, the inception of the movement, the here was not, or the lots was not a part of the movement when it started. Now, where this came from is from the Bible. We have Samson as an example, when no razor went on his head. Right? And in addition to that, the lion, which has the mane, so they go over here to take on that resemblance. So I think it's Morgan Heritage, the group name, You Don't Have a Dread. Right, so that captures all of that right there. So because of that, and of course they adapted from the way the lion has which has the mane, so they go over here, take on that resemblance whilst adapting from the Bible, the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. So you're Jamaica's first national hero, who was a Pan-Africanist who would have echoed the Black liberation and the Africa for Africans from the Caribbean to other parts of the world, including England, right? So Marcus Garvey's philosophy and ideology was that he wanted black people to be united and see themselves equal to other races and not to see themselves otherwise. So to the Rastas, Marcus Garvey is referred to as a prophet and as Black Moses. Now we see these again coming from the Bible, where they link it to Moses, who would have led the children of Israel from the land. So they see him, based on his teaching, to lead them home to Africa or back to
Rastafari is basically just pick out what they want to pick out and put it together to make their own.
That basically it if you want.
Yeah, because obviously, they don't believe in the Bible, but they still find things in the Bible to pull to their own culture.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, and then again, contentious arguments, because somebody had mentioned about colonial education or brainwash education. Now, you have Rastas who are lawyers, lecturers at university and teach the same brainwash. So again, contentious arguments.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, so the other part is that he had said that they should look to Africa when I think and Queen is told they know that the Messiah has returned to earth. Now, this was adapted from the Bible in Isaiah chapter 9. So a large part of it is that, well, let me just use this example. Back in high school, when we on debating team and we use the Bible as a source, of course, there'll be no arguments when you go to the Bible. So that's basically the same thing with the Rastas. So when they say, all right, the Bible said this and that.
Then pull on one scripture.
That's it.
So like some people.
I mentioned about that part. Okay, what you find happening is just like the Sabbath keepers, where they would speak specifically or use the Old Testament of the Bible. It's the same thing with the Rastas. You will not find the Rastas jumping over and you know. And it's the same thing you find with most of the Adventists. Right? The name Haile Selassie means light and thunder, right? But before that name, his actual name was Tafari Makanem. Now, this word Ras here means Duke or Emperor, the language of the Ethiopians, and his actual first name was Safari. So they would have merged title and first name, and that's how the name Rastafari came about. And so yes, it's the same Haile Selassie we're talking about. So when he was crowned on November 2nd, 1930, they had various titles that were proclaimed, such as King of Kings, Lord of Lords, the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah, elect of God, light of the world, and Emperor of Ethiopia. All these titles were because they believed that he's the Messiah based on what they were told. His wife was crowned in the coronation ceremony as Empress, so this is why you're finding the Rastas.
Calling the girl Empress.
Okay. So this is interesting. No?
Very much so,
yes. Yes. So what you mentioned, these titles, so when there's a royal creed around that side, when we are leaving, you can look at it, where when the Rastas get up in the morning, maybe
then the all names
celebration. Yeah, man. Love, unity. So even though that's the case, the Rastas had suffered that injustice. The 1963 Black Friday story, wherein the Rastas were being oppressed. You never heard of the Black Friday? No. Alright, so let's go to class. Let's get to class. Alright, so as I said earlier, the movement started in the 1930s. During this time, the English were still in, because independence came 62, right? So the Rastas were seen as a set of people who were capable of overthrowing the government. Yes, because they don't believe in this, that, and the other. Right? In addition to that, we know the Rastas love to plant their own food. Right? Cultivators, the weed and cut down and other kind of things. So those lands that they were using for farming purposes, the government wanted it, gave them notice, and of course they rejected it and said, you know what they call it, Jack. Jack. So we're not going to give up Jack, basically. Right? So we know that will cause some problems with Sir government. Right? Now, in addition to that, rumors were spreading around that they were planting marijuana. And of course, this was way before the legalization for medicinal marijuana. Now, so this Bad Friday was actually Good Friday on the 12th of April. But based on what happened to them, they called it Bad Friday. So they were, many of them were beaten, imprisoned unlawfully, and were even killed. They were dragged from one end of the island to the other as far as St. Elizabeth. Right? So there was this Rastaman, Mr. Benjamin Franklin, when he planted his ground provisions, the police officers started to read these things before he could, and all of that material. Violence became a part of it, so where he sustained some gunshot wounds and all of that, and a surgery being done. So this gas station was set ablaze by the Rastas as a way of protest.
That's right.
So many persons died in this fire, of course. So Good Friday is always remembered as Bad Friday by the Rastas.
So this gas station,
Shell gas station, was bought by America.
Oh, yes. Shoot. Okay.
So, and we know the Shell stations changed to rupees, not some. So all the rupees around were actually Shell stations. Right? So this was one of them. Now the Rastas had demanded an apology and compensation from the government. So that apology came in 2017, and they are receiving compensation through the Benevolent Society of the Rastafari groups.
Oh wow!
I mentioned earlier about where employment is concerned. So the Rastas, they believe that they must be self-employed. So this is why many of them resort to agriculture instead.
Or just
it just things at time have changed though, where as I mentioned about them being lawyers, lecturers at universities, and you find Rastas in politics too, right?
Yeah.
And their dialect is different, right? So the Rastas use different words than what we would use in the English language. For example, we use understand, we know the Rastas they say
overstand.
Good. And we know the reason. We know the reason for that. Yeah.
Never under nothing.
No oppression.
Yeah.
A part of it too, it was based on the fact that our ancestors were forced to learn the English language because slave masters wanted to.
Oh, so they don't want to make their own thing.
Went to kill them in their sleep, basically. Because of course the Jamaican factor was what was being used on the plantation.
So I have a question.
So then we understand.
Right.
So the words, I know they have, they put almost I to everything.
I and
I. Well,
so I is a substitution for the word me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know that.
But like most of the stuff is an I thing. Like,
yeah, they would do different sort of something. Yeah. So you talk about Kalalu, they better
Kalalu. Yes.
So that's that's what you're to, right? So that's where that comes in, moving away from the colonial language. Now, in relation to where Babylon is concerned, it really stems from the fact that where the children were up to that were in captivity, and Babylon, this comes from the Bible as well, right? So the Rastas, they don't believe in, having IDs and this, that, and the other, because they say, Babylon will track them down wherever it is. So that's where that comes from. In addition to this outfit as well, this is what some of them wear, because what we wear now, they call them Babylonish.
In the Enterprising Stern, I see him clothes. You remember? That was years ago, before I remained Virgo. Yeah, the same thing going on. He's just directly like this.
And one is always riding bicycles.
A changa that man. He'll still ride bicycle. Him just like him.
So women were able to join because of the emperor's wife, and this is how they would adorn themselves like the women in Africa, because of course the Rastas roots is based on Africa, so it's really Africanism.
Yeah.
Alright, finally the 12th, so we're going back to the Bible, right?
Yes.
Yes. So the 12th tribe of Israel, the Rastas believe that, you know, based on, they do calculations, based on the time in which we were born, to say which tribe they actually belong to. Don't know for them to that calculation there, but that's what we found out where that is concerned. The question you were asking about the Jewish, right? So we know that this is a Jewish symbol as they are David, right? So the connection to that is they believe two things. One, that Haile Selassie is a descendant of the lineage of David, right? In addition to that, it's also said that the throne that he sat on, which is Haile Selassie, was the same throne that King David sat on. So those are the connections from what I know.
Interesting. So, and again, it just have to show in line and people that start.
Of course. And again, different parts of the Bible
Cannot
support their beliefs. But of course, again, the contentious arguments.
See me?
Yes.
Changa.
That's a Changa popular company people or something?
Yeah, but because he take your Rastafari and fear and things serious.
Yes, he does.
Oh, this one is smoke out.
Is that chalice?
Yeah, chill out, guys. This is the Freedom Monument that was constructed by the Jamaica National Heritage Trust on the 1st of August 2007, which captures the information on those persons who would have actually laid down their life for the fight for freedom in the Emancipation War 1831 to 1832. So what you find happening there is that you'll see name, location, and the sentence that they have received. And so, yeah, you see some persons experiencing death, lashes, and all of that. So you start here at the parish of St. James, go that way, and go all the way. So when Jamaica, the parishes starts to be named Jamaica, had 22 parishes. Who knew that? Who knew that?
No. Did you know try?
No, sir, 14 alone.
So we had 22 parishes, and from 22 we got Wales. No, we had 7 first. 7 first. We soon tell you what the next 8 gone to. 7 first. Then we go to 22. Then we came back down to 14. So the other 8 would because they were subsections of each other. So Veer in Clarendon, right? So Veer in Clarendon was a parish. St. Thomas had 2, St. Thomas the East and St. Thomas the Vale. Now we just have St. Thomas.
Okay.
Right. St. Mary again was divided in 3. It had St. Mary, St. David's and Metcalfe.
Don't forget about that.
Right, so then 2 there, join with St. Mary, right? So that's how the 14 come back.
Interesting. Look at Jamaica so long ago. That's crazy. And then don't teach those in school.
Well, it's bad, yeah. Reading and research is so that's how I found it. Yeah.
Because history classes don't teach that.
Not. Some they're teaching it now. I know I have primary school students who come now, and if I ask them the question, they're able to tell me. But before, yeah, many were not aware.
What happened? Yes, this is it. Yeah. So guys, we are done with our tour. And I learned so much, to be honest. We never know so much. I'm gonna live in Jamaica forever. That's crazy. Thank you so much. You've been so helpful. You've been so wonderful. Thank you. Here. Again, guys, this is in Parade, Sam Sharpe Square, Montego Bay. Come and visit. It's very. You guys enjoyed it?
I enjoyed it.
Perfect.
I enjoyed it. I love learning. I don't know if you know that. I love learning.
I know you love learning. That's how this is perfect. So, guys, the kids, the fact that they don't know a lot about Jamaica, the history, make them go over. This was very good for them. And I learned a lot too. So, you guys should definitely check it out. The host and everything's so nice. Alright, if you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe, like, share, comment on the comment section, and until later guys, bye.
Me I say when me feel for sad. Say what you feel for sad.